ladies and gentlemen. Lori Loughlin and her husband, Mossimo Giannulli, were hit with additional charges because of emails that they found on her husband's account where he admitted that he was working the system. So he knew what he was doing was illegal and he did it anyway. In fact, the same day he put the email out, he had wired Rick Singer $200,000. So additional charges were slapped on this couple, and they have pled not guilty to the new additional charges. Hey, that's on them, right? So, defiant Lori Loughlin enters a not guilty plea to bribery, charge in college cheating scandal, as she and husband Massimo Giannulli are now facing up to 60 years in prison. They ain't hardly gonna put this white couple in America in jail for 60 years. It don't matter what they do. They're not going for no damn 60 years. It's almost laughable that they're even putting something like that. So this is the Daily Mail, November 2nd, 2019. Lori Loughlin and her husband, Massimo Giannulli, have once again entered a not guilty plea for the third charge they are facing in the Operation Varsity Blues scandal. The couple were among 11 parents indicted by a grand jury in a third superseding indictment that was filed last month in Massachusetts. And on Friday, their lawyer submitted their plea. Okay, so they submitted the plea in a court filing. I mean, which is not shocking at all, in all honesty. They are facing charges of conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud and honest services mail and wire fraud, conspiracy to commit federal program bribery, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now I see where the money laundering comes in, after seeing the email. If convicted of all three charges, the couple could face up to 60 years. They're not going to jail for no damn 60 years. They ain't putting these damn people in there. Not in America. Cheating or not cheating. The couple conspired to commit federal program bribery by bribing employees of the University of Southern California to facilitate their children's admissions, explained U.S. Attorney Andrew Lelling. Last month, in exchange for their bribes, employees of the university allegedly designated the defendants' children as athletic recruits, which we know them girls don't hardly look athletic. They look like they barely lift a finger altogether. And in fact, I read Olivia Jade barely showed up for high school, but they graduated her, but she was hardly ever there. So education was not very important to these people. That's why their kids are dumb. I guess when you're rich, you just think money is going to carry you through. Your kids don't have to know nothing. That is really the message you're sending. While the rest of us, like here in like us in our community, we have to work for everything. We sure don't have $500,000 to give away to somebody to get our kids into anything. We have to work whatever is out here, whatever the requirements are. We have to work those requirements and get in fair and square, not cheating. Okay, in exchange for their bribes, employees at the university, okay, so they recruited their two non athletic daughters as crew recruits with little or no regards for their athletic ability or non existent, or as members, other favored admission categories. A court filing obtained by the Daily Mail reveals that the case of Loughlin and Giannulli. Um, it was an email he sent to his accountant while invoicing $200,000 donation he needed to get his oldest daughter to USC. Good news, my daughter is in USC. Bad is I had to work the system, wrote Giannulli. Yeah, because your daughter's dumb. Okay, your daughters are dumb. They are dumb. Dumb. Just a few weeks prior to the superseding indictment, the prosecutor in the Operation Varsity Blues sent out a warning to Lori Loughlin in a rare interview. U.S. Attorney Andrew Loughlin appeared on a local ABC affiliate in Boston to discuss the ongoing trial, where he has managed to secure a prison time for all four parents to have appeared in front of Judge Andrea Talwani for a sentencing hearing. Those parents include Felicity Huffman, a woman who Lawling praised as classy for admitting she was culpable and taking responsibility for her actions. He did not have any praise for Loughlin and her husband, Mossimo Giannulli, however, and instead warned them that their decision to fight the charges in this case would only lengthen the prison sentence recommended by his office if they are found guilty. What I value in Felicity Huffman's sentence, what sentence? 11 days? I mean, that sentence was a joke. To me, why even waste money putting somebody in jail for that length of time? And that was clearly white privilege. There is no other way of seeing it. She worked the system and she got 11 days. Come on. Okay, so I think it's clear, it sends a clear message to parents involved that there is a good chance that if you're convicted of the offense, you will go to prison for some period of time, explained Lawling, while appearing on OTR. All right. At least culpable defendant, she got prison 11 days. Why are they making a big deal out of what Felicity Huffman got? I mean, she really literally got nothing. Look, there's a black woman that was homeless. She used her brother's address to get her child in school, and she's serving 5 years for that. And you're trying to make a big deal out of some overprivileged woman that got 11 days? What? Wow. Here is a few things working Huffman's favor. She took responsibility almost immediately. So what? Wow, he's making a huge deal out of Huffman. All right, so it's just showing you the parents, a list of the parents charged in Operation Varsity Blue. If anybody's going to get the biggest sentence, in my opinion, it will be Rick Singer, because he was the one behind the entire thing, pushing this get your kid in by cheating. And here's the list of clients that went to him and gave him astronomical money. The man literally became a millionaire cheating these rich kids way into college. So much for a high IQ, right? Why didn't your high IQ work in this case? You know why? Because you don't have one. I can tell you why. You don't have one. So here's the long list of desperate parents with dumb children that tried to use William Rick Singer to get their stupid, lame ass, good for nothing overprivileged children into Ivy League universities. Mm-mm-mm. And the list goes on and on and on. And they said these are not even all of the parents. There are more that they still have to go after. Okay, so the U.S. Attorney's Office will be going to trial with Loughlin and her husband, two of the 19 defendants who have chosen to fight the charges against them at trial. All right, so lawyers for those individuals are due in court next for a status conference in January. Yeah, I knew this, for Lori Loughlin and I knew they weren't coming up until 2020. I kind of had that feeling. If she is convicted, we would probably ask for a higher sentence for her uh, than we did for Felicity Huffman. Lulling said of Loughlin, don't even sweat this, y'all. When he says a higher sentence, he might mean 1 damn year or 9 months. You know what I mean? It's going to be longer, but it really won't be a punishment that fits the crime. You can best believe that. It won't fit the crime of what they did. It's going to be some lame amount. I think the biggest amount I've heard among the ones that pled guilty was 4 months. One of the parents got 4 months. And Felicity Huffman, we know 11 days. So all they got to do is give Lori and her husband a sentence beyond 4 months. That's why I'm like, I'm not even sweating this thing as far as their sentence. We are in America. We are in the land of privilege, especially for people like Lori Loughlin. Um, Loughlin is facing a different charge than Huffman, but made donations totaling $500,000 opposed to $15,000 that the Desperate Housewife star paid to a proctor edit her daughter's standardized aptitude test. Loughlin and her husband are now facing, they're not getting no 60 years and over $1 million in fines for allegedly bribing officials in a bid to get their stupid daughters into the University of Southern California. One day after 13 parents entered guilty pleas for their roles in the Operation Varsity Blues scandal, the 19 who did not admit guilt were hit with additional charge of money laundering in addition to mail fraud. Among names, William McGlashan, Manuel and Elizabeth Henriquez, and Lori Loughlin and her husband Mossimo Giannulli. The charge of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and wire fraud and honest services mail and wire fraud provides a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of 250,000 or twice the gross gain or loss, whichever is greater, said a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts. They ain't hardly getting that kind of sentence, y'all. They ain't hardly getting that kind of sentence. Okay. So that's all. They're just letting you know that, they had additional charges slapped on them, and their attorney entered a plea of not guilty. I sure hope he's a good attorney that they got, because they're in a lot of trouble. I will admit they're in a lot of trouble, but at the same token, they don't punish people like this in this country. We know that. It is going to be the lightest possible sentence you can give them. It's not going to be on the maximum end of 20 years at all. Not even close to that. They're not going to put, come on. Come on. Look at these people. 20 years? They ain't giving them no goddamn 20 years. Come on now. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.